right, let's turn on the chat. Good morning. It's a beautiful May 1st morning. Everything is doing quite well in the yard, in the food forest. I thought I would today talk about the pigeon pea. This is a new addition to my collection of favorite things to grow for food. I only discovered this less than 6 months ago, and I'm really glad I did. I got a handful of peas from a friend, and I've planted them in several different places. I thought I'd show you how they're doing. This phone is not the greatest for video quality, but I have other videos, if you're interested, that are more high definition, that talk all about the pigeon pea. But this is really just the update on where what I've done is. All right, so the pigeon pea is a perennial, and it's something like a small, short-lived tree, in my opinion. I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the tendency of it to grow. You can see I've trained it up this pole that I got at Lowe's, like a stake, and that seems to be an excellent thing, because what they want to do is lean over, in my limited experience. Look at this one. This is another pigeon pea, and you can see it's taking that arching turn. But I think once the trunk stiffens up, it will provide, you can tree form it. But I do think the stakes are required. I'm going to stake this one up as well, and some of the others. But you can see that it's been staked on the bottom, but then grew well past it. Ready to introduce back here. I'm building the coop. I'll go over there and show you that coop, where it's at, and have a whole video on that as well. But this is the kind of thing you can just chop off and chuck in the chicken run, and they'll love it. So it's also going to be great for that. High protein peas that taste great, and then everything you chop off of here makes a great nutrient return to your yard. It's great for chop and drop permaculture practices. So it's really quite incredible. This was one that was about a half a foot tall that my friend gave me a sprout grew up to that about 6-inch mark already in the ground. He just yanked it out and threw it in a pot, and the rest I got from the seeds, which came material. Okay, so I've got them also along the fence. Incredible amounts of pigeon peas. I'll show you the potted version and how well it's done. So I wanted to see how they did in a number of different circumstances. And you can see here we've got carrots. Ooh, while we're here, by the way, this is a good commercial break spot. If you are watching this and you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button already, please hit it. And that helps me a lot. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to do more live streams, getting a new phone soon. So anyway, these are carrots. Got into growing carrots this year. I had pet bunnies for bunny manure. And the cool thing is, I grew these little carrots, little micro carrots. This is something I love to do. Harvest these little micro carrots, feed them to the bunnies. So I think that'll be good. Have a few carrots for later. Now here's the pigeon pea in the pot. And this is a harsh side of my yard for this time of year because it gets the full sunblast. So I was almost going to move it because the growth that had happened in the spring just got fried right off. You can see some of the older growth. It struggled. And the other thing was I've been giving it a lot of bunny manure, so it's really starting to go off. I was almost considering planting all these in the ground, thinking they wouldn't do too well in pots, but reversing that, I think they're starting to really show their stripes, so to speak. So I'd encourage you to give it a try in both pot or in the ground. The ones I started in pots and then transplanted to the ground seem to have done very, very well. You can see this was a Persian mulberry that I grew from a cutting in a live stream I did about a half a year ago. And I've transplanted it from the pot to the ground, and off it goes. Had a bit of an irrigation issue here, so it's been struggling. And then right next to it, the moringa. This was grown from a seed not that long ago, probably about the 3-month mark. And as you can see, it's doing quite well. Got these growing all over this year as a key to the overall puzzle that permaculture is, and it's been so much fun. I can't believe, first of all, how easy it is to get the permaculture thing put into place. It's just many steps, one at a time, over however long it takes. These composting bins too. I've started to put the chicken bedding in the compost, which is cool. These are the bottomless composting bins. No matter how much I put in there, they just keep going lower and lower. A lot of new trees this year. Those bunnies. Welcome to the bunny sanctuary. Hello. These guys had lots of exercise this morning. Hey, Thumbs. Smell the carrot greens? I think maybe why not give Thumper some carrot greens live on the internet? Oh yeah, he smelled it now. You smell that? You were asleep, I think. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put the phone down just for a sec. Okay. Okay, now miniature carrot, miniature bunny. Carrot, bunny. Carrot, bunny. Oh, yes. We've been, Thumper and Penelope both have become so lovey-dovey. They get this kind of treatment just all day long, every day. Whoa. Piece of that went flying off. Here you go. Just take the whole thing. Let's see if we can do the he'll eat it and just like sucking in a piece of pasta. I actually think that they like the greens more than the carrot itself, but they definitely eat every bit of carrot. The head strength of these rabbits is really always surprises people. They are built for, oh yeah, there you go. They are built for eating through roots and beating. Spend so much time with them, and I try to make sure I hold them, each of these rabbits, for a decent amount of time every day. I just hold them and pet them in my arms, and that seems to make them much more laid back. You know, rabbits don't fundamentally want to be held, right? So you're just really training them to tolerate it for longer, I think. But Penelope over here, she's, there you are. Oh, you smell those carrots, don't you? Penelope will stay in my arms now for probably 5 minutes. It's pretty cool. Hey, Thumper. Hey, Thumper. How you doing? I'll give you the Rockstar here. There, that's better. Is that better? Look at those chops. All right. I didn't think my moringa video would transform into a rabbit feeding video, but gotta put the phone down. Okay, are you hungry for a carrot? Something tells me you are. How about this? Yeah, you'll take the greens, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll tell you, having these bunnies has been really excellent. They're very, very easy to take care of. I did have to build a fairly decent sized situation for them to live in the system, but running a couple hutches and way to harvest the manure in a sanitary way. It's all about making the systems, developing the systems. This bunny manure and pet sanctuary situation we've got going here is wonderful. All right, Penelope, I'm going to leave this in here for you to. They don't seem to have very good eyesight, you know, so you almost have to guide them to where stuff is. They'll come around and sniff stuff out, but it occurs to you, yeah, you don't have very good eyesight. Even despite all the carrots you eat, still, your eyesight. I'll leave some of this here too. Yeah, Thumper, Thump, you want another piece here? Aloof. Okay, you want to play hard to get? No? You can't resist the greens. I mean, that's the good stuff. All right. Big chicken coop, which I'm very eager to get these chicks out today. This is going to get up to be 92 degrees, so that's seriously hot. We've got them in the garage, and I don't want them to get overheated, so I've also got a thermometer right next to the brooder so I can watch it. Actually, a cool thing, I think this is cool to put in your animal areas, just so you know what's going on. I put a thermometer in the bunny run. So you can see that right now it is, 87, something like that. It's getting hot. Had a huge batch of worm tea this morning. I mean, this worm tea system has been an absolute rock star producer of worm tea. I've learned some things about worm tea now that I'll put in an advanced, as I learn more. I'm not talking about what worm tea is. I mean, it's just a magical liquid. That's good enough summary for me. But how to get the most out of it, I actually do things like I'll lift it up and just kind of let the waves inside the bottom part where the water collects come out so that the richness of all that organic matter comes. Look at this. See if we got any. Look at. Oh yeah, it's ready to go. So many worms. And I've been putting this stuff on everything along with the bunny turds. As you can see, the bunny turd system, I got these little trays at Tractor Supply. I built my cage just a little bit shy of what it would take to fit them, so that's classic. You know what I see on all the chicken coop building sites? They say that makes it rustic. I like that. But I actually, truth be told, I had no idea. I thought I was going to put 5-gallon buckets under that thing, and that worked out not well at all. That's something like having Swiss cheese collection system. Look at this. My sawhorse got a little wet last night. I noticed. I love this thing. I decided to get a decent sawhorse over at Lowe's. This thing worked out great. Oh, look, that's when we got it. That's really what the YouTube algorithm does. But we know it wants your likings or dislikings. I guess I should start saying, or dislike the video. No, don't dislike it, please. Pigeon pea. Pigeon pea in a pot. I'm going to plant it here. And the reason is, okay, permaculture. Always the reason. Hey, James. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping on. We're looking at pigeon peas. I was giving an update on the chicken coop build right now, but I'm going to plant this one pigeon pea, which is going pretty well. Well, happy birthday to you. Yeah, so I'm going to plant this here so that it will serve a function in my yard. First of all, for the food, it's right near the coop. I'll be able to trim pieces off of it to give to the birds. But the second thing is that it will grow up fairly rapidly. If the one that I looked at the beginning of this video is taller than me now, so over 6 feet, and going for the stars. So I think they get pretty tall, actually, if fed bunny turds and watered with worm tea, every week like I do. And I plan to do the same thing to this. This is actually going to be a bit of a grading. I'm actually grading this down so that the chicken coop and chicken run is up on a bit of a rise, because I don't want any water issues there. But I don't typically get any water issues because if you look at what we've got here, it's basically sand, so it drains really, really well. But in the event, a big water event, it can collect for a little while. So I don't even want that, because I don't want the wood down in places where there's water. I want them pretty dry, even though this is all pressure treated. But this little gulch here will be nice because it'll be more wet than other areas. And I've already planted some sugarcane cuttings in there. Just threw some sugarcane in. Look, they're all growing. I have a sugarcane forest in here. It's another one there. You could have as much sugarcane as you care to grow, and it will grow in this beach sandy soil. Look at it. Look at this. That's the medium that we're growing in, and I'm enriching it greatly with stuff like this banana compost, and lots more compost to put in there. But man, they're just so easy to grow. Sugarcane, chewing sugarcane. The mulberry tree, which had been somewhat shaded by the banana grove, is now in full sun and loving it, and it's producing real strong, healthy mulberries. Out producing little baby berries, but that's fine. You just cut a branch off of that and throw it in the chicken coop or in the rabbit cages as well, and they'll just eat that like it's their birthday. So this is a good thing to have near the chicken coop. It will provide some shade potentially if it slopes over this way, but the sun is coming this way, so really it's what I want to protect against is this direction, which is west. And when the sun, it's kind of interesting to see, the sun is almost directly overhead in May, in my opinion. But when it goes to about here, I start to get sun. And on the coop. So to have something that would block this would be perfect. Anyway, that's the permaculture thing, is to be able to provide the shade, because the animals need the shade. They also need the breeze, and it's very breezy. And by the way, I'm going to make this extremely ventilated. This whole top part is going to be all ventilation. Up here, the top part up here is going to be all ventilation. Each of the nesting boxes is going to get its own ventilation. Yesterday, this is what I added on. Put on this cross support, and then I built in, these are just temporary. I built this nesting. Just kind of ran out of gusto on it. It's still alive. I could still transplant it. I bet it would survive, but it's had better days. I think I'm just going to turn it into mulch. How many bananas is enough bananas, really? All of these are going to produce more bananas, so I think this is enough use of love for now. We've completed the transition over. Oh, another rock star, another big winner this year. By the way, hit that thumbs up if you like this. This is a lime tree that I bought this year. And limes are known to be very hardy. Citrus struggles in my yard because it gets hit by the salt irrigation, and well, that's why I tend to choose types of citrus to grow that are more hardy, like grapefruit, lemon, lime. I'm taking a risk this year with a Valencia orange. No verdict on that yet. I'm gonna hope it survives. I put it in a place where it just doesn't quite get touched by that sprinkler, and hopefully doesn't get that touched by this one, so it might be in the sliver of survival zone to get up into this area, which once it grows up into here, it could probably survive pretty well until it gets up into this area. And that is the salt spray blasting area. However, that area is remediated by this, because we have east wind coming all the time hard here during storms and periods in the fall. So it just fries everything. It's going to fry it. But it hits this and fries the other side of these shrubs. So it's really only until something gets up to about here where it starts to get burned. And as you look at what got burned on this Look at what got burned on this Tommy Atkins mango tree. See how the top, hopefully you can see on this phone, even though it's not that great, brown, some brownness. Good. Down farther, green, green, green. That's the deal. This is not a food forest friendly environment necessarily. I'm able to make this happen just because I get some simple systems in place. And now the systems are all coming together. Just to cycle through them real fast. Bunny manure, worm farm, chicken coop. By the way, chicken coop produces eggs. I'll do a video about that, the egg production you can expect. Compost, bins, grow table, vegetable garden. So yeah, the yard is really, with those simple systems, you just have to maintain them a little bit and get the outputs and inputs happening. That's the work part. So that you go throughout the yard with the bunny turds like I did last night, and apply them to the yard. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'll try to remember to do another video about that, but I've completely weaned off of fertilizers to the extent I can. I'm actually, the micronutrients, so there's actually a type of fertilizer with the micronutrients that I'm going to get this year to add in, and I think that'll complete it. But that's like a $10 supplement that lasts 6 months. You just sprinkle a little around your plants, and I think that's one of the also missing link. They have it over at Lowe's, so I'm going to actually go get it. I'll show you what I mean. Something that Suzanne over at Funky Chickens used that fills in the gap. You just want to have your gaps filled in. You got to have the worms and the bacterias and the components in the soil and the organic matter and the moisture in the soil to make it happen. And then you also need to add in all the systems that take care of the nutrients which the plants need. It turns out if the soil's in a good condition, the plants will be in a good position to absorb those nutrients, et cetera, et cetera. So it all fits together and it's super fun, I would say. Okay, well, thanks for jumping on with me. I appreciate it. If you like these kinds of videos, don't forget to subscribe to Eat Your Backyard. Look for the videos, links at the end, which I'll add on to see wonderful other things that happened in the transition to this state. So maybe you can also get motivated to add more of this type of stuff to your yard, and you'll have a 6-foot tall sunflower right at your fingertips. Thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard.